So for the most part now, we have a relatively functional rig. Of course, I only have one leg, but I'll re-rig the other leg as well. One of the things I would like to have in this, though, is the ability to get a little bit more deformation. Like, we have the ability to move the body, but I wouldn't mind having some deformation on the body. So I'm going to go ahead and create a deformer for this, and you already kind of know how to do that. Where's my tools properties here? And which one is going to work best for you. For me, I'm going to go ahead and use this curve deformer. We'll test that out first and just see. I'm just a big fan of the curve deformer. And we'll see if that's giving us some deformation we like. Yeah, that's not bad. And I want to go back in here and lower that just a little bit. I also feel like my stem could probably use a deformer as well. So I'll go ahead and create a little curve deformer just for it. Deselect everything here. There we go. Stem, click there, make another deformer here, and then here. Kind of give us that right angle, that correct angle. There we go. And so now when I get back in here, I got the ability to get a little bit of motion on that. And so these deformers will, for the most part, they will insert themselves in the correct place, right? But there's still going to be a little bit of issue. Like if I'm moving my deformer for my upper body here, well, one, I'm getting some overlap in the two, so I'll have to get in there kind of close. And so maybe I'll want to go in there back to the settings and pull that one down a little lower, make it a little easier to grab, maybe even make that point a little, yeah, there we go, a little bit of a better angle. But the other thing is that, as you probably seeing here, there we go, scooch that in a little bit more. As you're probably seeing here, they're not affecting other things, right? So if I grab this point and move it around, it's not actually affecting my stem. So maybe I'll set it off to the side here. That might make it a little easier to grab. So yeah, I'm not getting the stem following along with that, and I would like it to. So of course I got to use the kinematic output to do that. So KIN, so we got kinematic output, and so I'll want that to be in between my pair body deformation and my stem. So we'll go to there. And so now this should work, that as I'm moving this, we get this deformation. Now here's the real question. Do we want it to deform the eyes or not? And I don't actually know the answer to that. So let's test it and see. I'm going to try plugging this deformation straight into the eyes. Now right now, let's try that a different way. Let's try plugging it into the entire face. And so then we'll get to see if, like, by deforming this, it's deforming the eyes and the mouth. And do I like that, or do I dislike that? And honestly, I don't mind it. I'm not getting terrible deformation out of that. I probably will want to check to see how that works with our existing slider, our master control that we created, right? And you'll notice that currently my master control is missing. That's because I had shut down Harmony for the night, and I reopened it back up, and now it's gone. And that's always terrifying, right? But it's not gone. It's just not visible right now. And so if we click this button right here, if it ever disappears, you'll actually see it. It still exists. It's right there, right? But for some reason, this viewport is deciding it doesn't want to show it. Similarly to how, like, sometimes all of our deformers disappear. If we want them back, we have to find the thing that actually has the deformer, like the body, and turn them back on. Well, we can turn the master controller back on with this button right here. So show master controller, and sorry, I think I have to have it selected. There it goes. And so it pops this up, and I can choose what I want to show and what I don't want to show. And right now, I just want to show that one, and it'll bring it back for me. And the reason I wanted to check this out is I wanted to see if my body is over here, right? What does that look like on this deformation? Honestly, other than this like crinkle I'm getting here in the head, I don't mind that at all. I think that that's giving us some kind of neat stuff. And we can see even with this deformed, we're still getting some rotation on that. So that's kind of nice. I'll probably mess around a little bit with that deformer and do a bunch of stuff. Get this back to where we were. and go ahead and get rid of my keyframes. I got all sorts of keyframes on here I don't need. F7, get rid of all of those, right? I'm going to go ahead and go back to my deformer for my body and just open up the settings on that again. Just to go back in here and adjust that. Ooh, there we go. I want to adjust that to make that a little longer, and I think the fall off will work better. And if I move this over here, I know it looks like it's messing the stem up, but when I release it, it'll actually put it back in the right place. And so I think this is where I'm going to leave it, because now if I go back here and I adjust this deformation, that's just feeling much better. And so this is giving me a lot of control over the upper body, which means if that's got deformers in it, I can still add deformers to a lot of this rig, right? Including my legs, right? I have some great setup here for the legs to where I can, have my calf, out here, and my knees bent, right? And I could even correct for that to make that line up better. But I can still have deformation within each individual leg piece, right? So let's undo all that. And I could, if I want to, I don't absolutely have to, but if I want to, I could go to my upper leg and I could add another deformer to my upper leg, and I could go from here down and then from here up. And now I have this deformation, and I can deform my leg pretty dramatically. And that's still going to work within my peg system here, right? And so if I wanted to get like a very swoopy arc to the leg, and I could use that to get a much more cartoony pose on this leg. And I may even use that to fix some of my issues that I run into, right? And I could, again, do this on all of the body parts that I wanted to do this for. So I could at F7, get rid of that keyframe. Find my calf. There you go. F7, get rid of that keyframe. I could go ahead and put one here on this and the foot. Right. I'm going to do another curve deformer on the calf. So I would do from here to here up to here. Maybe reposition mine just a little bit. And so I got this deformer, but as you may remember, I'm not for sure necessarily if this is going to need a kinematic output or not, right? So for example, this works fine, but if I moved this end point on here, it doesn't go with it. So if I wanted a kinematic output, I could try to insert that in. I don't think I do. I think I just need this to deform it within the pose. So if I want to shape that leg better. And then we could do the same with the foot. But I think the foot would work a little bit better with a joint instead of a curve, with a bone instead of a curve. So I'm going to click this on the foot. I'm going to click here first, and then here, and then here. And let's just see now if I can get a little bit of a little bit of toe wiggle on that, right? And so now I have these deformers that are just kind of built into it. And the great thing about this is if I need it, that's great. If I don't, I just turn them off, right? The rest of the rig will still work. The functionality of the rig is still here. Those deformers are just added elements within there that allow me to refine the pose and the drawing even more.